and N'tegrity with us today. We're so excited. For anybody who doesn't know me, which I think I know all the faces here, I'm Mantis.
Yeah.
So we have Trinity and N'tegrity with us from United Outkast crew.
Yes.
They're going to be talking about their journeys through breaking and how they got started and their partnerships. So Trinity is a co-founder of United Outkast. She runs her own hip-hop dance program in Connecticut and is also a singer. You can check out her videos on YouTube. N'tegrity is a founder of N'tegrity in Motion, which provides breaking program and is also an entertainment company. She has performed for Adidas and Jimmy Fallon and Madonna, and she's passionate about creating safe spaces for women in the breaking community. So I'm gonna let Trinity and N'tegrity get started with just how they started in breaking. N'tegrity, why don't you let you start us off?
Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having us. We really do appreciate it. We've been dancing since early 2000s, and it's been a privilege to get to know hip hop through breaking for me, and also to have amazing partnerships from my fellow B-girls, because there wasn't a lot of females dancing in the scene. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing to have us, Mantis, first and foremost. BGirl HerStory is going to make HerStory all over the world. I can't wait. But that being said, you know, just to have like a space to talk about it, because I don't think we get too often, and I feel like we have a lot to share. And this experience has been amazing for me as I journeyed into an athlete first, a good student. I was good. She, on the other hand, ooh, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, we skip school a lot. Anyway, but anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having us. I developed dance because I wanted to learn how to express myself, but on an individual level, because I always worked good in teams. And then from that transitioning into having my own company now and understanding how important it is to not just give back through our moves, but you know, to communicate that from events and community experiences, I guess you could say. So thank you.
So how'd you get started?
Yeah,
I forgot. I just wanted to say, for me, like I really want to say thank you a lot, because it's, you know, how did I get started?
Yes.
I was an athlete first in high school. I did track, I did cheerleading, and I did gymnastics. And I saw a group of kids, because our school was huge, like maybe 2,000 kids per grade. And we had all these different ethnicities, and in the corner, every lunchtime, there was a guy with a boombox, and he was a Mexican homie, Gandhi, I'll never forget. And all my Asians came around, and they were in a corner, and everybody was breakdancing. And I was just like, I would always look at it, I'm like, I could do that. I don't know why I thought I could do it, but I could do that, you know? And so then we had talent shows, and I was singing with her in choir, so I knew of her, but she was best friends with my sister,
That was
Elena.
middle school.
Yeah, middle school, I know, right? So
I didn't like
So
gymnastics.
Trinity was a little younger than you.
yeah, she was younger than me. She was best friends with my sister, my little sister. And then I went to do a talent show. We called it the Fly Girls. You know, I don't know. I think More Money, More Problems came out at that time, and so we had the windbreaker jackets. And I was trying to make up this dance, and I met her, and she was like, "Oh, I'll help you. I dance."
Your sister told us.
Yeah. We should link up, make something up together. And I'm like, okay, cool. I still didn't know that she braked at that time either.
I don't think I did. We were just dancing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 8th grade.
Oh, so you're gonna have to tell your story. So, because yeah.
So you got started.
But anyway, so I started as an athlete. I wanted to do a talent show back in middle school, and I met her. We collaborated together, and then somehow, somewhere in the in-between, I was invited to Survival of the Illest, and it was a huge breaking jam in Connecticut, and that was like Bebo was there, Ronnie Moon, Dunock, like people were starting to get flown out, Keebla, that's an old, yeah, they had Abby Girl, Yaya, Beta was there, Floor Angels were there, and it was just my first time experiencing this, and the school was packed.
Full on, yeah.
Packed. So, and I'm just like, okay.
What year was that?
I don't know.
2002?
No, it wasn't 2004.
Oh wow, it had to be 2000.
Yeah.
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 So, and I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing everybody perform. I'm seeing the girls, like Floor Angels really like had hairs coming up my body, because Beta came out, she was like a warrior. Like she didn't, I don't know, Candy and all them, they just came out like they didn't care who they were battling, particularly the guys, but they were like, they were gonna come hard and come hungry, and they wanted to eat. So I was just like, oh my God.
Like, I want to eat too, and that's how I got started.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then I saw her, and she was doing all these cool moves, and I was like, man, this is dope. But I wasn't welcomed in right away because they couldn't take me seriously, A, because I was a cheerleader, so they thought I was flight.
So by this time, Trinity was breaking.
Yeah, she was training and everything.
Oh, okay. So
I got to see her there, to like doing everything. And I remember in school, after that event, that's when like the B-boys were pulling me aside. So Peak, he would like, I want to teach you, come around. And but when I would come around, everybody kind of looked at me as like public enemy number one, and she was the only one like, yay, you know, come around. But in her head, she's like, man, all the girls came around and they also left me, but hopefully this one sticks around.
Because girls didn't
too.
take it serious.
Yeah.
And I hated that. I didn't hate
So wait, let's take a pause. Let's hear how Trinity started, and then we can merge the two stories.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was at my friend's house, and they shared a driveway, and they had all the Asians were outside breakdancing and freestyle music. So I heard freestyle music, and I love freestyle music. I was like, oh shoot. You know, I've always been a dancer, also the same, like I was like a tomboy. You know, I always played sports and stuff like that, and I just wanted to be tougher than the guys. So when I heard, you know, and I love dancing. So, but when I heard the music, I'm like, oh, people are dancing. I opened it, but they weren't. They were like doing some other shit, you know, breaking. They were killing it. And there was a female out there doing her little cute thing. She was a little weak. I noticed the difference between the two. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And me coming in like a, just strong in general. When it came to like football, I used to play football and stuff like that. I used to attack little guys. And it was, I don't hate anyone, but the guys did something to me that just made me want to be better than them. That was my focus. Girls, I always wanted us to unite. But anyways, so I seen her and I was like, oh, I could do that and better, like instantly. Had a battle mentality. Because I noticed that the guys were doing like crazy power moves and all this other stuff, and she was coming out there like, it was cute.
You were like, I want to do that.
I was like, I want to do like all of that and some. So I went outside. I have no fear just walking up to people, and plus I knew them. We all played basketball all the time, but I didn't know they break dance until that one time I looked out the window. So then I went out there and I was like, yo, this is crazy, and they were doing their things like, but like not. They were actually high caliber like fire dancers that never even went into the battle scene. Like those Asians were so dope. UFOs, like everything back in the days. So I was blessed to kind of be around that when I first started. So then when I saw that, I was like, show me something now. I was so desperate. And he's like, do a handstand. And then like, look at your, I was like, what? And I'm like, what am I getting myself into? But I did it. And I was like, my first move was an invert that day. Couldn't get enough of them. I mean, every time I battled, they'd be like, I'm like, there's so many different variations of inverts. But anyways, so, and then that day, and I also got on my head that day, and I just was obsessed ever since. Like, from that moment, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, straight up, love at first sight, stole my heart, and my world was never the same. Like, I gutted the basement out, threw the floor in, brought the turntables, literally came home, told my brother, told my family, I'm like, yo, look at what we got. Instantly. And I like made little flyers because I was in 9th grade. It was a technical school, so I was able to like type up stuff because we didn't have internet, and I would like pass out these little flyers. Oh, if you want to break, come to basement 55. And and then we come through the cellar doors, and it was so dope. Like such a dope vibe.
You guys had a whole setup, right?
Yeah, a whole setup. But that's how I got started. Love at first sight, seen it, wanted it, and I wanted to be the best at it.
And so how did you guys? So you guys met in school, and then you met N'tegrity.
Oh, she came to the basement. She came to basement 55.
And this was before or after you guys meet? Or did you meet her because she came to the basement?
No, I've already known her from before, but a time had passed by and she came in, and she was like smiling, like, and I was like, oh God, here we go. Another girl that just wants to be around all the guys. Not like that, but like for the females that I experienced, they would want, and they're like, oh, I want to learn, but they had different intentions. They weren't there to like take it as serious as I was.
To the next level.
Yeah, to the next level. They're like, oh, and they'll do a little something, and then you can see automatically what's going on, and you're like, oh my God, you're wasting my space and my energy. So when she came in, she was happy, but I was already like done. But I was like happy, but I'm also inviting, you know. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this. but I like low-key would like leave the basement and go look through the little basement window to see if she was still training.
Yeah.
Like if we left, we'd give her a move, and I'm like, all right. Went around the side. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
She's still going. She's still going. Yeah. She fall down because she'll be like, she'll get back up and do it again. I'm like, that's my partner. She loves it as much as I do.
I was so athletic that way.
Yeah. We so that's how that kind of came about.
Yeah.
So who were your first teachers?
Me and my brother kind of taught ourselves. We were watching the VHSs then, and at that time it was like Easy Rock. Oh my gosh, Stormer.
I know all the names. You gotta
it helped me. We got Reveal, Remind, Circle of Fire, Orb, Cody the Girl. Who else?
Abby Girl.
Reveal. Well, we seen them in person.
I know. That's his.
Yeah, love them. But those were like my yeah.
Chino, I'll never forget seeing Chino because I was like, oh my god,
Windmills.
those windmills. I want this.
That's why she got.
And then K-Mel.
Yes.
Trinity loved K-Mel's inverts. So she purposely would wait. Was he looking? Go. And I'm like, yeah. And then he finally came around, and I think that's that.
And then I went to like dap him up, but I like dissed him, and then just did it invert in his face. And I was like, don't do anything after that. I just wanted to do that all my life. It's when people like really appreciated dancers, you know, and like just had that respect for them. I miss that. I miss that a lot. Because you can't see them unless you're there, and that experience was just so different. So different.
So N'tegrity. So your first teacher was Trinity.
Trinity and her brother. And
did you ever like go out and go train with other people for a while?
They came to us.
Yeah. So basically, they there's a Harambee Center. Bill, may you rest in peace. We let us use that place all the time. They had wrestling mats, and so Problems Crew was training there. And then she would be training there.
I was there playing football.
Everybody was there.
It used to be a football
like everybody was there.
The kids in the community, we were playing football. Like I was just tackling every day, and then it turned into like a breakdancing mat because I was like, oh, there's a spot with mats that I play football on.
Yeah.
But
so all of them would be training, and then they would go twice a week, and it would be like 2 hours. So it was free, so everybody wanted to go there. It became the spot, and so it was a safe place to not only learn on a mat, but then you can use the wood floor, which. You know, that in itself was training. Yeah,
that would feel
it sucked.
Terrible. But then we would go to basement 55 after, and then that's when I brought all the Problems Crew back. I'm like, yo, I got a spot.
So everybody
started training over there. Rest in peace, Junie. We love you so much. Problem child. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But our first teachers from that from Problems Crew was V. He was one of our. You remember V? Yeah. He was so his style. He was so special. But unfortunately, he got into a fight, and for some reason back then they made it so major that they put him in jail. Like he just got out, and then they like took him and deported him to Cambodia. And he'd been here this whole time. But anyways, he was our first. He was like our first, because you know, like I said before, my brother, we were just picking up stuff, but they already knew it. So V was definitely our first mentors with Problems Crew.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah,
sure.
Mutt and Spy.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think. The interesting, well, obviously V helped me do training, and I already knew about repetition because I remember he would tell me, he's like, why do you think you're going to get good at this? I was like, oh, because you just have to continuously practice it, and you're going to get great at it. So I know beyond knowing that I'm going to be good at this. But what I didn't have, which is what she had, was I could know like choreography, but to be loose and, you know, free, like I didn't know all that. And Trinity expressed herself both feminine and masculine. So, but she would encourage more of the feminine, because obviously naturally, you know, we are that, but we also dance very aggressive too at the same time.
Right.
I'm just a little bit more playful. So having that.
Tell her, stop smiling.
Yeah.
You're in a battle. Let's do or die.
She did.
Life or death.
I know. But I definitely was not that.
All right.
But yeah, so for me, she was a really big part of the training for me because she not only pushed me to get a move, but she also pushed me to be outside of myself, of my comfort zone. The guys, they'll help you. They'll tell you you suck.
Right.
Not yet. That was pretty much the end.
I love that. They were so honest with us,
good.
thank God. Because you would get guys that were like, oh, you know, easy props for females. Like, oh, wow, that was great. And it really sucked. So we were very blessed to be around guys like, what the was that? Like, that's terrible. You're whack. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It made us better because we didn't waste time thinking we were dope
Yeah.
until we were dope.
So what was one of the first power moves that you guys learned right off the bat? You had the invert, right?
That wasn't a power. That
I
was
know.
my freeze.
That
My
was like
first.
the first
So
thing.
head spins.
Head spins were your first.
First power move, unfortunately.
Windmills. So head spins and windmills right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
How
I like
long-
did it so long I'd be stuck like this in school. And I'm like walking into high school and they'll call my name in the hallway and I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad because when I was obsessed really. I was obsessed with that move so much. Like I was like, I have to get it. My mom would find me to wake me up for school on the floor.
Yeah.
Like in the morning she'll come downstairs and be like, get up for school, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going. I was like obsessed.
Yeah, she was.
But I didn't realize, like, if I knew, the reason why I chose the head spins was because it's like the most original power move for breaking. When you really think about it, like all the other styles, flares, air flares, windmills, it kind of goes with kung fu or gymnastics and things like that. And I was like, yo, what's the realest power move for breaking? And I was like, head spins. And I regret it. Not because of my neck or whatever, but a bald spot that I will never get hair back on. Like,
Yo, that is real.
it is so real.
though.
I'm so pissed. But I'm gonna do them today.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
after
it's the
this,
most
I'm like, why I
It's the most iconic
can't help
Yeah.
it. Yeah, whatever. I'll just flip it over to one side. That's what I've been doing. But anyways, and hers was windmills.
I was obsessed with windmills.
I hated windmills.
I felt like I was gonna be on I felt like I was on a roller coaster. I was like, I get to go as fast as I want, as slow as I want. I felt like a superhero.
Yeah.
So that's why I loved the windmills. And also the variations, like the no-handed, the you can do behind your back, you can go on your head, you crack. There's like just so many variations that you can do for ground power. So I felt like that. I just wanted to master that. The only thing, obviously, you get constant bruises here, but it was, I don't know, for me it was worth it. I just like to feel like I could fly.
How long did it take you to?
Actually,
to
it
get
didn't
the
take me that long to get it.
So you picked it up quick.
No, I picked it up quick, and that's attributed to being an athlete. But what I did finesse though, I didn't
Like doing it.
I would literally, I would do it really fast, but I wouldn't know how to control it. So
She
I was
never
like,
knew how to stop, and then she ended up like
Yeah.
getting like the illest. That shoulder spin y'all see, that's not something she like practiced.
Yeah,
That's
by
the only way she could stop her windmills. It was insane.
Yeah.
The only way, and that's how she got that.
The shoulder spin.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you
And,
couldn't stop. You were like the Tasmanian devil.
Pretty much, yeah, jazz.
And head spins. It took me that first night. Like once I found it, I was very
But like
obsessive.
continuous and
My thing was
balancing and
3.
everything?
Once
Yeah.
you get past 3, you understand. The first one is like luck. The second one is like, okay, you got the first one truly when you can get the second one, and then the third one is like now you've mastered how to continue it when you get to that after 3. And that's like another thing that's like intertwined with Trinity. But so that night I was like, I'm gonna get 3 and then I'm done. Meaning like done for the night, but yeah, I love it. It's also a freeing feeling to like let go upside down in the upside down world, and just once you master that control, it really is so effortless.
Yeah.
It's so effortless, and it's such a fun world.
Yeah, and that's like the point that you want to get to with any type of power move. For me, V always told me, he's like, you're gonna get this quick. He's like, but it'll take you maybe 3 to 4 years to perfect it.
Oh, and
that was
doing it
something-
in battles. I would have the
Oh,
illest
yeah.
head spins in the basement. I go to a battle, I hit one, I fall. And she's like, stop trying those. I'm like, I need to get it out of my system because it's just different when you battle and you're
Yeah.
doing those moves in the basement at the comfort of your space.
Yeah.
Then you got the hype and all the things around you, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna
So-
try this. She always used to crack up.
So how did you figure that out?
Oh, I threw everything in battles. I don't care. I was like,
She would
I
crash.
crashed a lot.
So you had to practice. You
But
had
I
to
just
practice
needed it out
to
of my
get
system
yourself
because I didn't want to like perfect it at home and then try to do it at a battle and not
Yeah.
do it. So I took like certain events where I would try some stuff. I'm like, okay, this one's a little small. There's not that many people. Or sometimes I'd be feeling myself and like, oh, I can get it this time, and I just completely crash.
Yeah.
But I'll just roll out. Like it's whatever. We all fall, you know. So
Play it off. You gotta play it off.
I was too much of a
definitely did it all the
perfectionist for
time.
that. I couldn't.
She had to drag me out sometimes.
I did,
She's like,
I
"Nikki,
did.
Get off the floor.
Wait, did that turn into a
In the middle of
routine
the
where you
battle.
would
Oh, sometimes, yeah, by accident.
Heartbeat wonder, you're like,
oh, she died. Bring her back to life.
So, but with me, I wanted to have more control. But the thing I loved about her when she battled that she was definitely not scared of showing her personality, ever. she was so free to be herself, so she kind of allowed myself to be me, you know? And I was still figuring that out because just like any athlete, you're so focused, you know? And you want to like do everything like perfect. So to bring yourself out, that was the compromise, or I felt like how we complemented each other. And I think that's the beauty of like having, at that time, having a female to dance with. It was nice to have that camaraderie because we can really feel each other's energy. And that was separated, I felt, like from the guys for sure. And, but we understood each other always. And that's why we ended up battling. I mean, like, I remember Promise Crew, like, they wouldn't let me into the crew yet, and then she was already in the crew, and we wanted to, they always felt that we weren't ready, and we were like, you know what, we're gonna make ourselves ready. We're just gonna travel here, we're gonna travel there, and we were just, like, committed to, like, having this experience together. And she was committed to being the best B-girl ever and winning, and me, I was like, I'm gonna be the best version of myself. And she's like, you better get out yourself. And
now I got no choice. I just gotta be the best me, because the competition now.
So you definitely pushed each other.
Absolutely.
Being together pushed you.
Yes.
I know there were a lot of B-girls that were pushed to battle other B-girls, and it was more of like a
We'd be so excited, but we didn't know how to approach them because, you know, they would have these faces. And we would, the whole time, we would be, because we would be, she was totally like, we always had the hots for her in like a positive way.
my God.
But we'd always be like, oh my God, there she is. Because she was
serious.
so like masculine and so like dope and beautiful. And we're just like, wow. You know, and we were, you know, younger at the time and we're like, wow, these B-girls are amazing.
Yeah.
But we just didn't know how to approach them. But it's right, they really did try to put us
Did you guys also feel that with your crew, with
no.
or like with Promise Crew or United Outkast? Did they ever try and be like, go battle that girl?
No.
Promise Crew, yes, because that was like, you know, I love that. I needed that.
Yeah. I don't know, for me, we lucked out. Like, we really lucked out because we had some really strong examples. Abby and Yaya were strong. Like both personality
and we mentioned them because we had time with them. We were able to be around them. Yeah.
So we really had good examples. So for me, I never really had this identity of like the boys and the girls, you know, type of thing. It was always I saw a collaborative
it's really beautiful.
But as far as them like taking too much time on you, as far as the guys were concerned, no. But then for us, we would see Abby and Yaya, and it was more like they would more communicate in the exchange, and that's how they got better. And they were getting motivated obviously from the guys, and then we would get motivated off of seeing them and their energy between them. So I feel like we really lucked out that way. I'm glad for it, but at the time the scene wasn't like, oh, come to my practice. It was like, no.
That's kind of creepy anyway. Like back then crews were with crews.
Yeah.
You know, unless it was like that.
It was a territorial thing, I felt like.
I'd be like, ew, I'm not coming to your practice. Like, who are you? No. But anyways.
So how did you guys train together? Were you always coming up with routines? Were you like, okay, today we're gonna practice this today?
Well, we started like individual practice training. We'll do it in sections. We're like, okay, we're gonna work on 90s together. We're gonna work on flares together. We're gonna work on so that, you know, it would motivate us. So if she was hitting like 2 flares, I'm like, ooh, I want to get 3, and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna get 4. So we'd bounce off of that energy, and it was never like a weird vibe. It was just like, you know, it's kind of like how the way guys were practicing. I would notice like the guys can practice, talk shit to each other. Someone can like outdo their 90, and then they come in and want to outdo their 90, and I loved that. But like when it came to some females, when we would try to like cipher like that, they looked at us like thinking that we, you know, like I had an ego or something like that. But I was just like, no, this is how we trained. This is, you know, if you're doing that, I'm gonna do it, and we got to build each other up that way. So we would do sections of that, and then we would move into the sections of what was it, like the elbows?
Yeah,
like different types of training.
So it would be free. Well, warm up, and then we do.
We'd warm up with top rock,
and then warm up with top rock, and then we would do power, and then we would do like footwork, and then we would do freezes. And freezes were always last. Yeah, because we felt like in a battle is your exclamation point at the, you know, those times. People weren't really throwing freezes like it was kind of just like that ending move or the beginning or whatever. So we would practice some of our hardest moves towards the end, so that, you know, with our energy and our stamina in a battle,
you can get tired, but we're still pulling like our biggest, hardest moves at the end. And then after that, we would just rock out and just practice whatever we want. And then routines were
Fun.
yeah.
I love them.
It was like our fun
So
moments, you know, or if we knew a battle was coming up.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just got into this space where we're like, okay, we just always want to be ready.
Yeah.
No matter what battle's coming up, no matter anything, we're just ready in case a battle will just pop up because you just get a flyer out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or you'll like hear it through word of mouth because that's the way we would hear it. And we're like, oh, we gotta go.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
no preparation.
Yeah.
So like just that mentality, we just had to always be ready. And that's why we have fun in those ways.
Yeah.
So you make sure you had like routines in your pocket.
Oh, in the
Always.
pocket with just
Always.
a name.
We have
look
the best
at her-
routines.
I would look
period.
at her and like,
In our group.
I'll say one word and we'll know the entire routine.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if like, and because we do break together, obviously we do, you know, top rock and all that stuff, but we also dance together, like choreography wise, so we can feel if someone's about to mess up, or we'll wait for it.
It's usually me always mess it up, but she's amazing. She'll just like do what I did, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you.
So you
I'll
say
figure it
that
out.
You guys have been dancing together for so long. You're
Yeah.
so in tune with each
Yeah.
other that
Yeah.
you can just pick up on it.
Yeah, she's kicked me before. I've seen stars. Like I'm like, how did you not see my
But-
face there? Like,
No.
oh my
So
god,
most
this
of
is
the
so
time,
bad.
most
That's
of
just
the
like,
And she'll
oh.
push me in every battle just to make sure she protects me from getting hit before she goes. Like literally watch every battle. If you watch us together, she literally pushes me before she does anything, just to make sure.
Only a couple of times,
I
depending on how
Make sure
heated
that
the
you're not
battle
in the
is.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I don't know why I want to start in the corner, but
So you guys are both. You have like really strong personalities. Did you guys ever bump heads, or when you were practicing,
question.
or
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think it was like during the time of, you know, finding that individuality where it's just like, okay, your moves are your moves and my moves are my moves. And like, you're good at this and I'm good at that. And just like, kind of staying and being in that lane and not accepting it. Like, cause I'm not trying windmills. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't really want to do a lot of head spins, so.
So in other words, we were just like, this is you and this is me. Like, we don't need to be like each other. Like, we're different, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we kind of bumped heads in that way, but it was like so minor, and we were able to communicate that quickly, just to keep moving forward because we seen the bigger picture.
Yeah. And then also too, like, as we're communicating and learning about each other, as I was learning about my history coming to New York and like taking from like Brian Footwork Green and Ejo, and there was Rhapsody, and then like, you know, Crazy Legs at the time.
Oh, yeah, I never
like,
took classes.
I was taking classes and I was learning the, you know, just like with breaking, they have names, so do movements, and specifically for us, like we loved house and stuff. So
Oh, we did that conference.
yeah, so we went to the house conference.
You remember that conference?
Brian
I think
Footwork
that's
Green.
right. I saw
Oh
you.
yeah, we remember that conference. So
You were a dream to us.
but because I was starting to learn the terminology for things, I would tell him like, yo, that's a basic move though. I was like, but at the same time, and this was later on, we really figured out that no matter what we do, like we really will dance like ourselves. Like we don't, if anything, it's just energetically we get excited, and that's what we really need from each other. So because eventually our individuality or our character or our personality or how we react to somebody else is gonna naturally come out, because we're gonna feed off of it, you know?
Yeah.
And like she's super protective over me, so like, you know, there will be some battles where, I don't know, New York, but Kingston, New York, I was doing like a
Final battle.
Yeah, I was doing a windmill, and this guy comes out, and it's like,
I know his name. We forget his name.
I'm
all
gonna
the
say,
time.
yeah. This guy comes out, and he's like ready to jump over me, and she goes like this, and she, bam, and I saw nothing because I was.
If you watch the video, I'm lifting up a dude and throwing him, and then I point at my crew, and I'm like, "Did you just see that?" And then I run over to the other crew, and I jump over to fly to punch.
And I'm like still
Izzy.
here, spinning,
Remember her?
and I'm getting up, and I'm like not understanding what's
I was like,
happening.
"He needs a Bible." I was so upset because it's not the first time that we've ran into like that type of thing. You know what guys would do? It's very easy to do the. You really want to be like, but no, they're doing the other thing. And one time they accidentally touched, like it was too close,
Yeah.
but it actually happened. You literally touched me. So that day we had our student
Yeah, you
battling
right.
with us. That I just, when it comes to children, just, and I have a really bad potty mouth. I got, I talk a lot of, it's crazy. But that day it took everything in me to not do anything. So then the second time it happened, I said, "Oh, fuck everybody, he's done." Like, after him, I couldn't take it anymore. But yeah, that was crazy.
So did you guys encounter
We got
a lot of that?
disqualified.
Did you guys encounter a lot of that? Like B-boys disrespecting women in the circle, or the
Not really. Only when he came to New York.
Only in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really, But we could take it. Like, we'll do it in our moves, but when you would get physical is...
We just had no touching. That's it.
Yeah, just don't
everything
touch.
else were cool. Like, just no touch. You're just gonna do
Like,
that.
how would you feel if I just...
For anybody, not just for us.
Yeah.
In your
Like,
face.
of course.
Like that?
Yeah.
It's like...
So I feel like that, that element we understood, but with our crew sometimes we would, we definitely had difference of opinion, We're nurturing by nature and we kind of like have a motherly vibe, but we would try to
Unite us and make sure that we're doing our routines and that we know what like this means, like if we're in a battle, because you don't want to set up, you don't know what's coming across from you. So like when we would throw things out, but that was amazing. We had great unity actually.
No.
From
With
that.
the crew, were United Outkast?
Yeah.
The thing I loved about it is that even if we had a disagreement, like we would
Talk it out.
we would get excited because we're like, we're going to learn so much more about you, and you're going to give us the real, the real you, and this is going to bring us closer together. That's always how we've looked at it.
It was pretty mature.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you guys ever have any problems with, just because being strong women, sometimes you get pushback from
Oh no,
other men in the
we definitely
crew,
didn't get
or-
that because I started it with him and I actually was dancing the longest out of all of them.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to do our tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Remember in the crew battles?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then
Also,
they
they would
surpassed me
say
like in
they
a
would all
year.
throw you out when you had a Trinity, when you had a tiebreaker, they would throw you out. So all the crews are backing you up. They were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, Trinity's the one we're gonna throw out.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So they had confidence in you.
Yeah.
I think that was the beautiful part too, is especially after our crew started growing and the younger generation came in. Like they didn't realize how much they helped us stay with it. Because they were so excited and stuff like that. And we've been doing this for so long. It's kind of like having that new energy, and then looking to us. Like, hey, like what can we do?
Yes.
How can we be better? And we're reciprocating that energy because, I would say for us, in our crew, we're the longest that's danced, like for United Outkast, period.
Mm-hmm.
So
Except for Bob.
sometimes there would be this dynamic where, we were like, hey guys, we know this because we've been through it, but then you also have, members just because of the masculine energy coming in, they're like, no, I'm feeling this in a battle spirit, but we're like, no, take the time to think about it before we actually, execute this, because we can look at this from a different angle. So I love that dynamic that we can give. It's just like really respectful, So that I think I love that. But for women, I don't know. Some guys are like, "Yo, we can't have a crew with women," and I'm like, "Why not?" I was like, "It's just people talking."
Oh yeah, when we won Bashville, it was all like there was only guys at that battle, and it was a 5 vs. 5.
Yeah.
And it was us two.
Our first win.
Our first crew win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got into a fight there too.
Oh no!
I don't think it was me.
Yeah, I don't think it was me.
I don't know. I'm not a fighter, but it's just I'm a protector. I protect my ladies and my peoples.
So do you guys have any like words of wisdom or any tips you would want to pass on about practice, about break life, about anything like that you'd want to pass on to some of our newer B-girls?
You first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would just say structure. Go into practice with a goal in mind and always get a move ahead. So just don't stop there, keep going. Definitely have a goal at every practice, and you do not stop practicing until you reach that goal, unless you get hurt. Don't be like me that gets hurt and still's like, I gotta get the goal, and then I'm hurt for life. But definitely. And listen to your body. Listen to it. If it's crying, if it's hurting, listen to your body. I highly regret that. You know, I never listened to my body, my injuries, nothing. I just kept pushing through. And that's why I haven't been able to really get down the way I used to, because I didn't listen to that. And now, like, I feel like everyone knows that training is so important, like lifting weights and training the other muscles in your body. We didn't have that. We were kind of just like breaking, and that was our muscle, and that was our training. So you guys are doing great on that, I've seen. But definitely go into it with a goal, and stop watching people. Like, really invest time into yourself and getting to know who you are, because it's your soul that's out on that floor, and your soul has no influence. It's already been there all along, and that's where your real story is. So it's really important to just spend time with yourself as a B-girl or B-boy, you know, and just definitely, don't watch for a while. Just have fun with yourself, really build up who you are, so that when you do end up watching other people, you're just like, you know, you're appreciating them, and it inspires you. It doesn't cause like, oh, I wish I had that, or whatever it is that goes inside. But once you have the foundation of you, it's so powerful, and that's what really will make you stand out on the dance floor. More than anything, we've seen a lot of athletes out there, and you know, much props to all the B-girls that are killing it. I am missing the soul, though. I'm missing the soul part, where we couldn't see other people, where we had to just go to the event, we had to feel it, we had to experience it, and we took it back with us. So just stop watching people. Have fun with yourself for a little bit, you know. That's pretty much it.
Your greatest enemy is your inner me. It's the voices inside your head.
Yeah.
And you gotta, you know, show yourself a little bit of grace sometimes. Your mind will talk you into things and also out of things. And I feel like every time you get to a position where you feel uncomfortable, like that's probably the moment that you're supposed to learn something about yourself. So I feel like you need to walk in that more. You know, authenticity comes from, yes, learning about yourself, spending time with yourself, and not dancing like my girl, she tells me all the time, you know, dance like everybody's watching when you're out there, you know? This is you, like, get excited about you, like, you're your biggest fan. You put all this hard work. Like, why go through all the pain and not get anything from it?
Out.
Like, get something from it.
Don't be afraid to fall or fail or whatever it is. Like, just get out.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and as I say those things too, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I still battle those same things all the time, you know. And you're not alone in that feeling. But the only way to push through it is to allow yourself to trust in this present moment that you're in right now, that you deserve to be here.
Yep.
And if you showed up, you really do deserve to show up for yourself.
Yep.
Like, this is the one time, you know? And the energy will come because you're allowing it to happen. And I think the biggest thing I've learned, especially from this one, is like not to care about what other people think. You know, like,
because it's your life.
Every time I watch battles, and I hated that I spent so much time on this, but I'd be like, man, Cypher should go. Right, I don't know if I should go on this song. Wait, I'm not feeling yet. No, not yet. And then I saw somebody just kill it. I'm like, oh shit, wait, no, this is not the moment for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like
I literally pushed her.
She's like pushing me. I was like, don't push me. I was like, don't push me yet. Even though I know I probably should be pushed.
I think that's why I always push you.
Probably. Probably why
you have
she
nothing to lose but time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm old now.
Yeah, but to me, like, sometimes I look at the push as because I've experienced so much tough love, and her and I would be very hard on each other, and the guys would be super hard on us, and we got to a point where we got pushed so much that we were like, you know what? I really just I don't want to be pushed anymore. Like, I want to feel really good. Like, oh man, this is so good. I'm so happy to be here and practice. Like, everything does not have to be a freaking battlefield, you know? Because then you lose the fun. Why did you start this? I started this because I saw her and I saw a whole bunch of people at Survival of the Illest, like, kill it, be themselves, have a good time.
Well, to piggyback off of that, like, I'm a battlehead. So battling is fun to me. So training for a battle is very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I have no existence if I can't battle somebody. And I think that's why I felt like I lost my identity, because it's like I'm not going out there with an injury and like slacking on my skills or whatever and not doing what I gotta do. But from this angle that I've been injured, I've been able to enjoy the community and the B-Girls and like just the events and the other side of things, and you know what you're talking about. And that's why I'm saying like you know, I'm in that space now because there's nothing else I can do about it, in the sense like I'm not battling, but I love this. So enjoy it. You know, you don't got those knots in your stomach because they're about to be called next to go smoke somebody or get smoked. Like whatever it is, I do miss that feeling. But I'm really enjoying this community. Like if I was still a battlehead, I would just be tunnel vision. Like I wouldn't even cipher, because I'm like, I gotta save my moves for the battle. I gotta, like, I'll hear a song that I love, and now I'll be over there running all the way over to like a vibe I love because I hear the song. So I was just saying, it's amazing. Definitely be happy where you are. Love it. It's your life to live. You have nothing to lose. Like I said, other than time. So stop wasting time. Get up and get down.
And be around people that support you. Like for real, like. Really support you, not like show face and then smile and like yo.
And if you don't get
even
it,
like they don't follow up with you, they don't see how you're doing it, you know, like that type of thing. Like I've been through injuries. My injuries are like a total hip replacement and a rotator cuff and labor toe surgery. I had to do all this through COVID, and still we both have our own businesses, and still also say I want to put myself out there as a dancer still, you know. But it was because I attribute that to the sisterhood that we have and the support that we have for each other. Like your injuries, your injuries like teach you something really good about yourself. That okay, now you have this injury, and okay, once you pass that injury, now what?
It didn't teach me nothing.
It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me to have some patience with myself and my body and my timing. You know, like divine timing is for you. It is when you're choosing it. But like for me and her, like we want to train and we want to go back. And,
we're gonna do it. We're gonna train a little bit, like today.
Of course, but in that time, because we're in a place where we are and we see all this amazing talent that there is now, like Kid Break, like all of them. I saw all of those guys like when growing up, and now they're just phenomenal. The information that's out there is phenomenal that we didn't get to have.
Dude, does that make you mad?
Yeah.
We should have like an old school B-Girl panel discussion about. Oh, there's a lot.
We can do that in the future.
I don't want to like keep bouncing you guys, but just you know.
Make sure it's rated R. I don't want to hold back.
Questions.
We
have some questions. We have some questions on the Zoom. So from Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Erica. What up?
So she asked, what's the best way to learn a power move? Is there something that has worked for you in the past?
Training the muscles that need that power move. If you're gonna do 90s, do handstands.
Shoulders.
Do shoulders. So training the muscles for that and repetition.
Key.
Yeah. I felt like we got our power moves
drilling.
fast because of the drilling and understanding. Okay, I'm using these muscles. You know, we weren't in the gym lifting weights or anything, but we're like, okay, we're upside down. We're gonna handstand. We're gonna do push-ups or whatever it was. Walk across, do circles. Yep.
All that stuff works.
Have someone hit your stomach while you're up there. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Squeeze.
No, okay.
No, repetition is definitely key for sure. And then obviously the more you do it, you're gonna feel confident. And also film yourself. Oh, that's something.
Film yourself.
We always filmed ourselves, and our crew would always like. Well, B would always watch the video forward and reversed.
So don't give a secret.
Well, listen, B, I love you.
We are so.
But listen, but that's also the way to get inspired off of yourself. I know we're in this like social media platform where we it's all about you type thing. But honestly, like when you're watching yourself dancing, and don't lie, don't lie. Sometimes it's hard to watch yourself dancing when you record yourself, right?
I hate watching myself, but
and I like it
because
I'm like I need to get like fired up about me. Like, what did I do better this time around? What do I need to work on? Like, really, truly evaluate it so you can like know how to train, right? If you really want that power move and you watch yourself and for me it'll be a windmill. If I see that I'm hitting my shoulder, I'm gonna find ways to do it slower first, step by step. slower and make sure that's a repetition so I actually understand the placement, and then I'll try to just go for it.
Oh, yeah,
right?
and one
so you
old
can
school.
gain your control. That's really important.
One old school way was actually closing your eyes and seeing your body do that move.
Visualization.
And yeah, we would sit on the floor. My brother, I love him, Alex, he would say, you have to see the move first, and then you can do it. And we really loved martial arts and kung fu, so we kind of like, we kind of adopted those methods, but we would sit there and if I couldn't see myself doing a flare, and flares were very difficult, I had to see it inside my mind and my body doing it, or looking at like a person that I'm like, oh, I want to flare like that person. You know, power moves is different. Obviously my legs are long, I'm flexible, I gotta find somebody that moves the way I move. And then I started visualizing my body do that. And then when I went to do it, I swear to God, I did it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Like to see yourself doing it. So
Yeah,
visualize.
visualize it.
Yeah.
No, I used to do it all the time. I had a friend that actually would say, if you see it, if you believe it, you can achieve it.
Oh, that's
And he
so
would
cute.
do it all the time. He would stand there and he would think about what the move was, and then he would just do it. We were like, let's do that.
It's so magical. Like that's where I got a lot of my my tricks, like out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my God, look what I just did. But because I sat and I was just like, I saw myself doing it.
Yeah.
That really helps. Yeah.
And it's not magic, but it does. It helps you work on it. Does
Michelle,
anybody
show us your
else-
face.
Does anybody else have any questions? Somebody's gotta have some questions.
Questions, concerns, doubts, fears, experiences.
Let it out.
Come on.
Or I'll battle you. It's like,
I'm about to ask
I would hold it right me.
I'm about to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
I mean, you've already touched on this briefly, but there's so much difference now in the scene from like when you guys were coming up to now, in terms of like videos and media and like even jams and competitions. Now that the pandemic is kind of cooling off, there's a lot more that's popping up. It just seems like there's a lot more information
Yeah.
now. It can be like, for me even, they're just nostalgic to think about when you guys were coming up. So I'm curious, like what methods or kind of like even just wisdom from the ways that you really feel like you were forged as B-Girls you think are important to hold on to now, that you wish you saw more in the scene, in the way that people were doing, were breaking.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
I started to follow it and then I lost it.
It's still a good question.
It's still a great. No, I'm saying like, can you just? I just
Yeah,
wanna
let
make
me
sure I'm
let me
answering.
make a more
Yeah.
concise version. What would you like to see more of in the scene?
Oh,
That's
okay.
like that's kind of how you
Soul.
how you break.
Soul, a story, not just moves that we create. It like a story. We've all come from different backgrounds, and I just know that in our generation we kind of use the dance. We weren't working up to a Red Bull. We weren't working up to an Olympics. We weren't working up to like these crazy events that are so amazing now, and that's such an amazing platform for them. But we were actually just we would go to a battle with like 10 people and want to be the best at that event. And it was just like coming in with just that raw mentality, like just wanting to battle your story, battle your life. It's like me or you out on this floor. It really felt like a battle zone. It was just different. Like seeing it now, it's very not showcasey. I could see some girls like letting it out a little bit or whatever's going on, but it carries a different element these days. I'm really missing the soul and the story behind it more than anything. And I hope to see that more is the soul. And you could see it when someone's dancing. You like turn the music off. Turn the music off.
Yeah.
Watch them dance with no music.
Yeah.
Do you feel them? Or are you just watching them? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the way I would watch myself back, with no music. And I'm like, can I feel what I'm doing right there? And I'd be feeling it. And I'm like, wow, and you can feel that in silence. And that's important. And when I'm going through like social media, it's always on silent. But if I see somebody killing it, some dance moves with no music, but I'm feeling them, I'm like, ooh, I want to hear this song. But if they're not, I'm like, okay, the music ain't gonna help this either. I'm wasting time. Next. So
That's true. That's
yeah.
happened to me too. I've scrolled on Instagram and
Yeah.
sometimes just the way that someone's moving with no music on, you're like, oh wait, what was that?
Yeah.
and then you press play, and
Yeah.
it just adds more to what you're looking at.
Because you're seeing sound. If you can do it with no sound, you're seeing the sound. But if you don't see the sound, I mean, the music is just helping them look better. So
Right,
yeah.
like when you color in a drawing, right?
Yeah.
It's got to look good in the black and white before you add that extra flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great training tool. Great. I mean, at least to get your identity, that's a great way to like train yourself. You know, do you feel you? Ask that question.
Yeah. And if I didn't feel myself, I am fixing it.
Yeah.
I gotta feel it.
Yeah.
Because I only do it if I mean it.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that, because that was a gem. Please take that with you. Hopefully it helps you, resonates with you. But hunger, and I'm not talking about the hunger like to battle and like beat somebody. Like you're hungry for like yourself. Like you want this, not for somebody else. You want it for you more than anything. Like I think. And I think when those things happen, that's when you're kind of put in a place. Because I saw you get emotional earlier.
Yeah, me too. I was
And I wanted to.
For asking.
Yeah, I was totally gonna.
Because
Yeah.
that was a moment for sure. I think when you said like your greatest enemy is your inner me, and like even just trying to talk yourself to getting in the cipher, like when you have like a script of self-doubt or like self-interruption, is like it's such a kind of like can be an engulfing kind of feeling, and I think it can also be profoundly isolating because it's like, oh shit, like the vibe is here and I'm up here, or I'm back here, or I'm over there, and it's like, hold on. Yeah, exactly, like out of the body, and it's like, hold on, this whole experience is in the body. And I can't do anything, I can't speak a word of my own truth out there if I'm not united. So I think like just hearing from you, like the levels that you've gone to, it's humanizing. I feel seen to know that like, you know, I'm not alone in that, and that like there are invisible struggles kind of like all around us.
Yeah.
And even though people act a certain way in the scene or like in the circle or can do amazing things, like it doesn't eclipse us from that kind of pain.
Yeah.
So I resonate with that.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. And you take all that energy, and that's how you tell your story without words on the dance floor. Because you don't want to be like that no more. You're tired of feeling like that, and you just want to scream and let it all out, right? So do that, and that's the soul that I would love to see on the floor. Use that as your weapon. You just need someone behind you to push you real quick.
Right?
She would be like that, and I'd be like, get in there and let it out. How'd that felt great, right? And then you look and you're like, okay, no one else is really caring because they're all in their own mind. Like, it's not their life, it's yours. Let it out. But so I think
I have a question. Mine's just, well, first of all, thank you for sharing just even that moment itself, because I've struggled with that 2 decades being in the scene, and I still struggle with that to this day. Sometimes I'm almost, it's crazy to think that my injury, I'm thank God for that injury, because now I have to be in my head and not get down. That's fucking whack to think that way, because I want to get down, you know, like so bad. So I live through, oh shit, I'm gonna cry too, what the fuck? Because I lived through that. So the things that I do, that's why I put my foot on the gas and keep pushing for us women to continue to do that. But thank you for sharing that, because I feel the same way to this day. You know, it's a long time to be in the scene and to feel that way. So for you to acknowledge that strength that you know that's there and that's binding you from moving forward, yeah, feel it as much as you possibly can and get in that cipher and just keep loving on yourself. But camaraderie, I feel like there's a huge disconnect with women in our scene for decades and decades, you know, and I think that, you know, I've caught these things like very childish ways, but, you know, we grow up a certain way and we're around maybe certain women that have induced things in our brains and think that beauty is a bad thing, or it's, you know, we're not connecting in some way. I feel like our numbers, you know, they're getting there and they've grown so much. It's great to have seen it grow from there, but what can we share, like, with one another to really entrust one another with that real camaraderie, that real sisterhood? You know, I continuously try to just make sure that genuinity is there,
Yeah.
and just loving on one another. And I've been getting excited over BGirls since the start of the time. The very first BGirls I ever saw, I was always excited. To this day, I still get excited, and that's why I know that that genuine love for sisterhood is like really there. But like, I think girls tend to not trust one another, you know, and I just feel like, what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for that real genuinity to come into play and not hold so many things that maybe our past would have looked like to someone that you're not giving grace to, that changed their ways 10 years later, 20 years later, you know, like, and I know that does have a little bit to do with healing and, you know, being a survival and the survival mode and that wall kicks in, but if y'all can share anything about that, because you truly, I remember meeting you guys at Hold Down. Like, who you were then is who you are now, and your sisterhood has always shined through. You were very kind to me. I remember coming up to y'all were chilling, sitting on the bar, watching the battles go down, and I was like, yo, baby girl, like, I can't believe I'm meeting y'all right now. And you're like, yo, thank you so much. It was a really, that was like 15 years ago, you know, and here, or maybe longer. I don't even
Our
know.
first time in
I think it was
Texas.
longer.
Yeah, first time in Texas,
I wasn't 21. That's all I got. And that's all I
So you always had that. I feel like there was always been that. You're right when you say that. Yeah, I did get excited over women that dance and be girls. You know, I remember, I recall. You know, so what could you share with us about that camaraderie and letting other girls know, like, let go a little bit, let your guard down a little bit. What can we do?
I think it just helps by leading by example and not shifting your ways because someone else is not feeling that. Just continue to show the love and continue to be the person that you are, and definitely don't take it personal. You know, you put the love out there and it'll come back. It's nipping away a little bit. You know, it's those things, those invisible things that we don't know that people are battling with, because ultimately everybody wants love. So it's just, it really helps knowing, because I love me, that I want to give that love continuously to the people that I'm around, and I really value life. I had so much death around me at such a young age that it's just not worth it. Even holding back in the ciphers, or, you know, doing what you love. Life is so short, and rest in peace, Tyree. You just don't know. So just be yourself and continue to just give that love no matter what. And I think as time goes on, you know, they'll get more comfortable in saying, this person is safe, this person is okay. And a lot has to do with the healing. You know, because there are some scary girls out there. Like, I don't fuck with them girls. I'm still me, but I'm like, hey, you gotta be careful. I understand, but definitely, it doesn't hurt a lot to give a smile and, you know, acknowledgement, and just, you know, some props, and that can go a long way. I mean, you don't need to be their best friend or like get, you know, like that, because, you know, it's scary out there, but that shouldn't stop you. You know, it's always important to be able to love, not with a guard, I would say, but just love without taking things personal, you know? Yeah, because,
So for me, it kind of hits a little bit different, but I'll try to say this in the best way I can say it. So conversations like this, organizations like this, you know, BGirl History, like
Thanks, man.
having, I remember there used to be this debate about, you know, women having their own jam, right? Because there was a time where, I think it was Queen Bee, but I saw, even before Queen Bee, there was this thing about, like, you know, separating, you know, or segregating, like, you know, the guys from the girls and things like that. And why are you doing that? You know, like, you're separating our scene and all this other stuff, but there was always a part of me that felt that it was really important that we did have our own, because we were smaller in numbers at the time. And I felt like, you know, Hoedown and Your Jam, like BGirl City. I heard so much about that. Champ would tell me so much about that. And I was like, I would always get so excited. I would always get so excited. I was like, man, we really got to go to Texas. So I felt the energy in Hoedown. And they were playing house. They were playing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, and Keeves, we got to meet Keeves because Keeves was coming to Connecticut. And he would tell us, yo, you guys need to get down there for sure. And this is the beauty of traveling too. Like, feeling like traveling, meeting new people, and going to different types of jams. You know, sometimes if you're in the scene and you're in a scene too long with the same people, like, that can sometimes bring down your spirits. You're meant to explore. This is part of it, you know. and like, you know, I I'm a bigger girl because I went to Texas, you know, and I met up with Mashiko, and she was like, oh, let's go to the hip hop flea market. I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, because I don't know that up here in Manhattan. We don't have, we have like flea markets, fine, right? We have flea markets. Yeah.
This is hers right here. I experienced my first hip hop flea market. I just want to throw her out there.
Is that
Lachey sells.
Yes.
Show up the fit.
It's so comfortable.
No, it really is, and it was 15 for the top and 15 for the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like a real vintage piece. Like the tag was still on it. Yeah. So shout out to her. Shout out to BGirl City, Baby Girl. I just finished hosting that event over there, and it was amazing. Like the energy was so fire. I got pants from you.
Yes.
Saving those for the summer. That's a Hampton type outfit. But yeah, sorry.
But it's okay. Hey, listen. That was a commercial.
Commercial break.
BGirl City. Come on down.
Welcome back.
Can't be that price. So I just, for me, conversations like this, having more groups like this, experiences, even like if you have, you know, a little get down afterwards, this is a great way to do that, because even if you're at a jam, sometimes people will try to have these blown out conversations with me, and I can't, because I was getting ready to prepare for like battling and stuff like that.
Oh,
I would be kind of in my head, yeah, watch battles,
You do
experience
all
things.
B-girl practice.
It's not just B-girls though. It's
Everybody.
everybody.
But you've attracted a lot of B-girls. Oh, okay.
They do a
Yeah,
B-girl.
Luna does the B-girl session here on Tuesdays.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love that.
Yes.
I love that a lot.
But having that, I think, is really important. That's why I, you know, compete, yes, but please get to know the people, right? And so having these conversations with women, B-girls, yeah, I think that would be a great start. And
Yeah.
I think we need more stuff like this.
Community, because people are afraid now. Back then, we would
It's
all be at
social.
a jam together. And
How
we're
can
like,
you be
oh, who's
social
hungry? Y'all want to go out to
dancing?
eat? And then we would
Yeah.
all like just go out to eat because we're all break dancers, and that's where we were getting to know each other.
Yeah.
You do that now, it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know you.
It's probably my favorite part of a jam. Afterwards too.
And that's where we really got to like hang out with people, the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also helps with you going into a cipher circle, because then like you kind of have an idea or a sense or a feel or a vibe, because you have these conversations with these people, and it begins to kind of, it humanizes you, because once you get to really like know somebody, like anybody from the scene, they're a person and they're just trying to get better just like you, and they're in their head just like you. I think that is something that's important. But for me, more so with spaces like this, I'm looking to, because I was an advocate for creating safe spaces for B-girls. I'm just gonna say briefly, but you know, I created my own blog and I told my story, and me putting out my story helped me finally have some sense of peace, because it was a big reason why I didn't return to breaking and battles as much as I did. And I would only I only wanted to be with her, period, like from that point on. And she became like a safety net for me and somebody I can trust. And I think when you are in communities and when you get to have those relationships with women and have different experiences, like you don't know what you don't know. And unfortunately with our scene, like we didn't know. And so for me, I feel like this really huge sense of obligation, you know, to like, I want to have, you know, break the cycle. I want it to be like an event that can create safe spaces and have like these conversations that we need to have, because they're never going to be comfortable, but it's good to have, you know, on any level, you know, not just like the bad things, but also like, you know, for understanding what respect and or boundaries look like to any human being. Yeah. So for me, it runs a little bit deeper, because I feel like we all have struggles that we're going through, and your identity is not just based on your gender. It's also like you as a person. And so if you are trying to build a community, especially with women, like, you know, I'm always comfortable with my females for the most part. I might get a little bit intimidated, but I'm like, if I just smile, take a deep breath and say, hi, my name is N'tegrity, and I
But that's how
don't
she
know what to
really
say
does
after.
it. She used to go out, she's like, I'm gonna go up to her. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna do it. Hi.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
funny.
Like, it's call me simple stupid, but you know, if you ever get to be around like kids don't care. If you smile at them and you have a good face, you know, and you're like, hey, I'm playful and I want to learn what you've learned, like kid break. You know, when I went to Mantis and I had to battle her at Rockefeller's Jam, which I can't remember right now the name, but we battled, and I literally, like, looking across from her, I realized I had this identity. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's me, like, years before me, you know, and I'm like, I see this and I see you, and I understood that we both were kind of having to make the same internal struggle, like with trusting ourselves, and like, cause the whole reason why I wanted to break, period, you know, I really wanted to be free. Like, I wanted to like be playful, be fun. I wanted people to feel like whatever I'm trying to express internally, emotionally, like I really want you to feel that, and or maybe I brought that out of you, you know? Because to me, like, that's an ultimate win. Like, that's bigger than the trophy for me, hands down. Like, I'll take that any day. If you feel my soul, and because I saw it so much with her, but she just would get aggressive and want to win, like, that was a different
But after it was
dynamic.
always love.
Always love.
I loved everybody that was across the floor. Even when she was across the floor, I based off, like, you're not my friend anymore. But she understood.
Yeah.
Like when we battled.
Yeah.
Because it's like we want to pull, I mean, it depends. Everyone comes from a different space.
Right.
It was my outlet. So my outlet was aggressive.
Yeah.
But, you know, you understood that.
Yeah. No, I did.
And it was all love. And I understood you too.
Yeah.
She would make me crack a smile. So she got me. You win.
We do still have, I think we have 2 more questions
Yeah, go for
in the chat. So one kind of brings us back to something you touched on earlier about the separation between B-boys and B-girls. From Autumn. Hi, Autumn. She's still there. How do you feel about the separation of the B-girls and B-boys in battles? Having a separate bracket of B-girls, how do you think it's affecting the scene and the community?
We kind of felt a way about it from the beginning. I remember we flew ourselves out to, what's that name? Outbreak in Florida.
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah.
And we went all the way over there and we're like, we're gonna battle everybody. And then there was like no other girls entering except for these 2
32.
girls. 32 people entering. It was a really big event, Outbreak. And there was only me and N'tegrity and these 2 other girls. And I literally went up to the person, the promoter, or whoever was at the event, because I was
Speedy and
young
Max.
and immature and bold.
Speedy and Max.
Yes, and I was like, you better not put us up against the only other 2 B-girls. It is a break and battle. We want to battle everyone. Like, don't put us up against each other just because we're the only girls in it.
I've seen that.
And I used to hate that. And then when she was talking about it earlier today, I realized something. But anyways, so when that moment happened, you know, that was very diva-ish to be like, don't do that. But we have to fight for that because it happened all the time.
Yeah.
Even if there's 2 girls at an event, put them against each other. And it was kind of annoying because it's just like, we're all in this together and we can smoke y'all too. So, some of them. So then when we did go out to battle, guess what the first battle of the battle was? Me and her versus the other 2 girls.
And I looked at Speedy, I was so upset.
We just looked at them and just stared at them. We were so mad, but let me tell you, it fueled us. Those girls didn't know why we were so angry at them. And she didn't smile on this one. She actually, that's her first time really breaking out of that shell because we went all the way this way and we wanted to really put ourselves out there battling guys. And no offense to women, like we wanted to see them go against some dudes and see each other later, whatever it was. But the fact that if it's all random, why put us up against each other? Because that randomly just happened. So we used that fuel. We smoked those girls. It was a great time.
Oh my god, great and hilarious.
I've never done certain things. I've never twerked in a battle before, and twerking wasn't even a thing then.
Oh no.
But she got it. She got it.
Like, and we had the clip, but she
was a little twerker.
She literally like she usually does a rollback, and when she does a rollback, she hits her like invert, like freeze right there. So she does it, and then she gets up. But you put your legs down. You put your legs down, right? And she's facing now like the backside of her, and she gets up and like she starts twerking. And the girl's like this, and her friend is laughing, and I'm laughing because I'm like, this is
What's going on?
I was just so mad. Like I finished my moves, and she was kneeling down, like talking her shit, and I just shook my ass in her face after. But anyway, so we made it to the next round. And we ended up battling. So yeah, I do feel like the separation was definitely something that a lot of us B-girls felt from back then, and we just didn't understand why. And we really felt like it was kind of like, oh, it's a muscle thing. Like we're not as strong as they are, type of thing. I mean, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious, you know, and you know, no offense to some B-girls, but yeah, they would go out there and just not do much. We understood, but it's just like that doesn't mean to separate us. Like let her get smoked, she'll come back better next time. You know what I'm saying? Like I always threw myself in the fire. I got smoked. I know what that feels like. I loved it. Because
you want to come back
every time
with more power moves,
with more smoke,
more flavor,
every time,
more footwork.
Yep, never more footwork. It's like I'm kidding. Oh my god, footwork hurts me so much. But yeah, but I did love going to my first all-girl event. I was so like, no, I was so excited. It was Queen Bee, and I went there with Beta and Solstice, and she came with me, and it was like mostly girls. And DJ, yeah. Oh man, and I was like, wow. So y'all was trying to like put us like keep us separated, but this type of separation was a nice separation.
Like bringing
yeah,
it
just
all together.
Yeah, bringing it all together, but giving us our community. Like, yeah, you can't enter this battle as a B-girl. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. There it
So
is.
instead of worrying about have to battle the only B-girl in the room, now it's all.
It was kind of like,
so,
yeah, it was
like everybody's getting the smoke.
yeah, but I get the separation to an extent.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it should be something like just all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
know?
and you have to understand, we were in the very beginning of it. Like we would get upset because we would enter B-boy battles. They were all
Because they call it B-boy battles, but we're like,
B-boy
well,
battles.
there's no B-girl battle on this, so we're entering.
Yeah, they
So
would
we kind of
separate us
like-
and be like, oh, you guys can enter the B-girl battle. No,
But there
no,
wouldn't
we
even be
wanna-
a B-girl battle.
That's true. Right?
So we
There
would
would
just
be
enter the
two
B-boy
B-girls
battle.
out of the whole event. So
And I know y'all B-girls face that too. Like having to enter a B-boy jam, and it's not, you know, and I think that's what they started like making it separate. I don't know. I really don't know.
yeah.
So we have another question from Erica. She says, I'm almost 30 years old, and one thing has been on my mind, which is getting too old or that my time has passed. Do you ever get worried that you're getting too old?
All right, now my tears are coming. It's like, no, I'm kidding. No! As long as you still got your legs, your arms. I always say age is just a number and an injury. I understand. But no, honey, I'm going to just put it out there. I'm 37. And I'm about to start training again. I may have to fix some moves that I can't do as much anymore, but no, you're still young, and it's about your lifestyle, eating healthy, going to the gym, listening to your body when you're injured. Don't give up on yourself. If you can still walk, I see some B-girls and some B-boys that are like 65, like muscling through, killing it. It's
Shout
like,
out to all the
they
B-girl
got-
moms.
Yeah, them
killing
too.
it.
Yes,
Like-
exactly. So it's not, if your body's healthy and you're good to go, you just have to just be more careful.
Yeah.
You know, don't be stubborn with your body. You're good. 29? I'll give anything to be 29. Anything.
I'm 38 and I'm still here, and I know there's a B-girl Mel who's like 40,
Oh,
I
right,
think.
yeah,
So she's killing it. I mean, and
Abby girl.
you know,
Oh
we
my
would
gosh.
and we would battle people that were younger than us, older than us. It really isn't about that. It will always be about why you're doing it for yourself. That should be the most important.
Yeah, don't
It's
give up.
not. Don't limit yourself about
age.
your age. That's silly. Don't do that to you.
I
Don't
did
let
that.
a number be the definition
No, but
of
I
where you
understand.
go.
I did.
No,
Yeah.
I do. But
I done
like,
it.
I don't think. I think there comes to a certain point where, you know, at any age, like you can have. This is just a health thing, right? I'm 38, but my bio age is at a 35. You know, so physically, I'm more than capable to keep going. You know, so if you just have this passion for it and a drive, hopefully you do, and you're doing it because you know, it makes you feel good. You know, it spikes that endorphin. Then I say go for it. You know,
Yeah,
but I think the limitation that you might be feeling more in your head is.
Seeing all these young B-girls
saying
out
how
right now.
long will it take you to get the moves? I truly believe this and I respect all styles of dance, but when it comes to breaking, it takes a lot of time to get those moves. That's why when when you taught younger kids, like you had to teach them only little things, because you knew the difficulty and you knew the time and energy it would take to actually get something, versus like your ballet, your jazz, your tap, your modern, It's a totally different style, so you really have to be patient. And shout out to Rockefeller, because I remember seeing her literally call out moves the kid break and Stylesky. He'd be like, she's like, okay, do a flare,
Those are her little action figures?
windmill, and go back to head and then freeze. Yo, homeboys did it. Me, I never got that. Oh my, what? No, go ahead, go practice, go do what you gotta do. Like, never got that. So it really is all in your mind. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And don't let the competition steer you away. It did that for me, straight up. Like, I feel like if I'm training and I'm not gonna be amazing at it or win some battles, like I didn't even want to like start again. I'm like, how am I gonna keep my original style when I have this broken thing and this broken thing, and right now my elbow's broken. That's another thing. So it's just like, what are you gonna do? And seeing these younger girls that are out right now has definitely made me feel like, oh my God, is it too late? And yeah, well, I still kind of feel older, but
I don't know. For me, I'm regardless if they're young,
their
old,
stamina.
For me personally, and it all depends about who you rock with. But I got a certain energy, and it is special. And I know she has a certain energy, and it is special.
Well, it's not the energy,
and it's
it's my
entertaining,
body.
like to watch. So for me, like your body may hurt. Yes, of course. You want to make sure you're smart with your body, even in your 30s. At any age, you want to make sure you take care of it. Love it, but I feel like when it comes to battling, and I always said this, like with her, it's exciting, it's fun, like that energy is fun. And I'll never forget, we battled at UDEP, and only because our crew member really wanted to battle, so we said, okay, sure, like we'll battle with you. And Trinity was above and beyond hilarious, and Poe won, kept laughing, and literally had to get up off his seat after judging and go to her, and he's like, this was the most memorable battle I will remember for the entire night.
Well, I was injured, so I had nothing but me, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I got into that mentality, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it, And I try to give it all that I can. I don't remember this.
Stop caring about what other people think. Let those voices become really small, so it's all you. Really.
Yeah, people enjoy watching that, sometimes more than anything else.
Yeah.
Seeing your personality come out.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions here? I know we have one more up there. I thought maybe we'd bounce back and forth.
Who's staying to train?
So we have somebody else up here, Michelle. Hi,
Michelle, hey girl.
Hey. She's asking, how do you feel about breaking potentially going into the Olympics? I know I've been seeing some Instagram stories from some of the people who are up in the Olympic training facility. And I know they just lit up the torch.
Oh shit!
And they lit it, and which is a real special
Wait, when?
welcoming for breaking into the Olympics. So it seems like this is happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's weird. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like, where was the Olympics when we were training, breaking our bodies? So we're kind of hating on it in that aspect. But we're very excited for the community, because now I know whose hands that it's in, and I am so grateful, because when we first heard about this like 10 years ago, was it 10 years ago when we first heard through the grapevine like what was happening?
Yeah.
We got news of it, and we were like in these meetings and calls, like, trying to fight to make sure they keep the culture and so on and so forth. So we went through a lot of steps back then to now finally see it happening. I'm very excited for it. I just want to, you can't knock it until you see it. We just gotta let it rock.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm happy, I'm proud.
I mean, I saw it. Argentina, like I saw the camaraderie off the bat, having the one-on-ones, and then when they did, I think the big thing to recognize within the Olympics is that every sport is pretty much segregated. This is when we're actually collaborative and inclusive. Boys are actually, or I don't know, sorry, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but masculine and feminine are working together, so they had the one-on-ones and they had the two-on-twos, but how cool is it to have a 2-on-2 with a B-girl and a B-boy from a different country? Mm-hmm. And then you're having to work together and try to make up routines, and then that is like a real collaborative effort, And our scene is very, like, we want you to watch us. We want spectators. We want you to feel what we're feeling, you know, in a circle. We don't want like this, you sit in the stands here and you sit in the stands here, and you know, like it's none of that. So for me, I'm excited to see it be more respected, especially like when I was growing up. Like my parents supported it because they saw it. But to make it your career, or to go like hard in it, or not get a real job or something like that, like they always wanted you to have this fallback, you know. And it was a fight to fight for your dreams and like what you really want to do, and you're the only one who sees it, and if you're blessed enough to be around people that actually believe you and see it for you, like that was the only way that was happening. So having it on this platform and on this stage, and I work with a lot of Olympians, like it's just gonna only expand and grow and bring people together. So why wouldn't you want to have more people to see it?
I just want it to keep its essence. That's it. Like I love the upside to it on so many levels, but I just really, really want it to keep its true essence of culture.